The X is always worse than Y logical fallacy from SJWs and Feminists. Hey, it's Prince of Queens, and there's an annoying logical fallacy that I hear commonly from both SJWs and Feminists, which I figured I'd make a whole video about today. I call it the X is always worse than Y logical fallacy, where the moral busybody acts like something bad happening is inevitable, and therefore we must choose option Y preemptively to prevent option X from happening, to avoid maximum damage. The most common way I have noticed SJWs using the fallacy is when they say, experiencing racism is always worse than being called out for being racist. Meaning to them that it is perfectly acceptable to endlessly accuse people of being racist, potentially even making mistakes and accusing people of being racist when they aren't at all racist and didn't actually exhibit any signs of racism, but it's acceptable to accuse them anyway because racism is such a horrible thing that it's always good to be on the offense against it. This is logically fallacious for numerous reasons, but mainly because it assumes that the only way to fight against racism is with call-out culture and demonizing people for their supposed racist infractions. Considering we live in a world where people go on cultural appropriation witch hunts and shut down people's food trucks by bullying them because they are white and serve burritos, we can assume that this is often counterproductive. No, just because you think racism is worse than call-out culture does not give you the permission to constantly accuse people of being racist. Sure, you can do it if you want to, but I just want you to ask yourself what the ratio of success you have had with your callouts has been recently. How many times have you called somebody out and it seemed to be productive in recent months? I also want you to ask yourself, are you making the world a better place? How helpful has your white tears mug been towards your goals in recent months? More so, who appointed you the arbiter of deciding who is considered racist or not racist? Do you legitimately believe that you can read people's minds and that you know that their stupid jokes are signs of deep, latent racism, or that their jokes are inspiring others to be significantly racist? There's always the possibility that if you left it alone, it could be for the best in many instances, and many people can only take so many accusations of being called a racist before they decide to go ahead and just be racist. Ever heard of choosing your battles? Feminists like to make this logical fallacy too, such as when they talk about how incredibly bad rape is, often claiming that rape is actually worse than death, so much so that they feel false accusations are worthwhile collateral damage because, according to them, more women should be accusing men of rape more often so that rapes get prosecuted more because rape is worse than false accusation universally in every instance. As if we have to choose. This is logically fallacious because, sure, obviously every legitimate rape is really bad, but false accusations are also extremely bad. Why do we need to compare the two? As if you can't try to cut down on both. Neither thing should theoretically be happening, but encouraging people to come forward with rape allegations frequently and not to be held to skepticism when they do will definitely inspire false accusations, especially in a social climate that encourages women and girls to feel that they might have been raped after consensual sex simply because they regretted it or they were drunk. Why is it being pushed by feminists as an either-or thing, as if either you have rape or you have false accusations and you have to pick one? Don't you think any rational person would try to come to a happy median in regards to curbing as many false accusations as possible and also trying to make sure rape accusations are thoroughly investigated? Two things can be done at once. Truthfully, the conclusion I have come to is that the feminists who push for free and open false accusations want to maintain the power that they collectively have over men in regards to being able to falsely accuse men. And they use the false idea that we could ever potentially rid the world entirely of all sexual violence as a justification for maintaining their heinous grip over men, and even some women for that matter. As long as feminists know that they can easily coordinate witch hunts against anybody who crosses them, and Jezebel or Rolling Stone will just go ahead and publish articles about any rape or sexual assault allegations, the feminist masses have a strong collective social power that can be used against anybody for political reasons at any time. That said, nobody should ever make anybody choose between two shitty options when they don't have to. This isn't the presidential election where Trump was a wacky blowhard and Clinton was basically a mob boss in a blue pantsuit. You don't have to choose between accepting legitimate racism and flying off the handle every time somebody says something that might be slightly racist. Nor do you have to choose between men getting falsely accused of rape constantly and women being raped constantly. The world is more complicated than that. Start acting like it. Drop me a comment, help me out on Patreon if you want more from me, and stay tuned.